What's up, everybody?
How y'all doing?
I am Katrina.
I'm Ashley Marie.
And this is Two Girls.
No Fucks.
And today, we're going to get into it. I don't think it's going to be super heavy, but we got some layers to peel back. So today, we're talking about being black, but sounding white. If you know, you know. If you don't, let me break it down for you. So, there's this thing called white supremacy. Yeah, we going way back into time. Who did that? Was that Blackstreet? I think so. Anyways, so back in the day, there was the King's English, then later known as the Queen's English. And that was the one language that the colonizers wanted everybody to talk. And if you didn't talk like that, you were considered other than. So then we get into spaces of code switching, which then leads to imposter syndrome. So let's talk about it. As being someone who works in the corporate world, I know how to sound, quote unquote, whatever white sounds like, or something that's palatable, if you will, to get people to respond to me with a level of respect I should get no matter what dialect I'm using. So it gets to be really frustrating, especially within our own community, when you have degrees and you work in corporate and you speak a certain way. Your family, friends, and your community kind of shit on you for that. Like, why you gotta sound white? What does sounding white mean? Just because I speak English? I'm pronouncing words. And that's not to shit on those who don't. But that doesn't mean I sound white. If that makes sense.
Makes perfect sense.
Okay. Because I felt like I was spiraling for a bit there, but...
So for me, I speak the way that I do because of multiple layers. Most of the people in my family had to learn English as a second language.
Right.
So I was taught to speak grammatically correct so that they could understand. So if I used a slang word or something that like wasn't familiar to them, wasn't what they were getting on their flashcards, on their, VHS, on their...
Yeah.
In their English night classes,
for their exams, to their citizenship exams.
Then it didn't help.
Yeah,
I was just causing more friction and not, like, I was impeding the process. So, yeah, it was that for me.
That's tough.
Yeah.
It's really tough.
I can't, like, instead of being like, oh, fuck it is, I'm like, good morning, how are you today? Like, sorry if that doesn't compute with everyone. Like, granted, in Spanish and in Creole, there's, like, slang there, but it's different because we're, like, it's just embedded in us to speak that way. Like, my grandma spoke to me, I just retained it. So it's what you do.
It's like,
but English, you can't do that. Everything is so backwards and so confusing.
English as its own language. And it's so crazy because I have a convoluted relationship with English. And, I don't think you ever knew this about me. Spanish was actually my first language.
I love that for you.
I had a Spanish babysitter from the age of 3 months until I was almost 6 years old. Went into Catholic school and they said, no, we're not speaking that here. It's all English all the time. And lost the majority of it. I can understand when it's spoken and respond in English. I want to be able to respond in Spanish. I currently have Duolingo downloaded on my phone. We gonna get this shit back. But understanding that English as a whole is not only one of my favorite languages, it's one of my least favorite languages. Because I know how to express myself in a way to get people to understand what it is I'm trying to say. But also, the language itself, you have one word that means 5 different things.
Yeah.
It's so hard. And I have the utmost respect for those who learn it as a second language. because it's so hard and it's so like, what do you mean there? Like THEIR, like, what do you mean? What do you mean THERE? Or like, what is this? Like, it's, yeah,
Yep.
it's a lot to say the least. But when you mix the history of our people and how we spoke a very different language and were forced to speak this language, it kind of develops its own dialect. That's why AAVE is a thing. And for those who don't know, what's that? African American Vernacular English is what that stands for. And it's the way that slaves were able to communicate with one another. They used the English that they were taught and made it their own. And that's been passed down generation. It changes and morphs and grows with each generation after that. But the whole sounding white bit really makes my ass itch for a lot of reasons.
So I think it's presented as an insult when it comes from the people that we're culturally connected to.
Yep. Exactly.
And it doesn't matter how you phrase it. It comes off rude.
Mm-hmm. It's very rude.
No. Oh, I didn't expect you. You sound different on the phone. I sound what on the phone?
Please enlighten me. Please.
I would accept all kinds of bullshit answers. You sound taller. I'd be like, yes, sorry.
I wish I was a little bit taller.
But like, no, I get, oh, you just sound, I didn't expect this.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. You didn't present, or you didn't expect a POC to be in front of your face? Cool. That's what that says to me. The fuck out of here. What I look like? Oh, I'm sorry. I look like a black woman. That you didn't expect because that's not what I sound like on the phone.
But in my everyday life, that's like...
It's different when you're with your people.
Yeah.
It's the code switching.
But sometimes I just... It turns on. I step into the property that I work in, and it turns on.
Yeah.
And then...
Do you also think it's a defensive mechanism?
Yes.
Okay.
Because sometimes the batteries are low. And so, like, in the middle of the day, I'll be like, y'all got me fucked up.
Oh, you know, we're reaching a high stress level right now, and I need everyone to take it down a few notches, and I need you to meet me where I'm meeting you. See the difference? Bullshit.
Or I'll respond to things like, I'm like Aretha Franklin right now. Y'all want me to sedated Halle Berry, and that is unacceptable.
Oh, shit.
And like 4 people in the room know what that means. Mm-hmm. Have you ever seen the movie Gothica? Cool. Put it on.
Add that to your Netflix list. Is it even on Netflix?
It was for a long time.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I don't know. I noticed it heavily like as a young adult. Mm-hmm. My name on paper looks like you're going to get a blonde-haired, blue-eyed...
Yes, it does.
Becky, and it's going to be a great time for you. And then I show up, and I'm like...
You're like, wait a minute.
Hey.
Yeah, that's always fun.
And they're like, ma'am? Mm-hmm. Ashley? Dímelo, papi. ¿Cómo estás? No?
¿Qué tú quieres?
Doesn't do it for you? Okay, sorry. I'll turn it off.
That's funny. Yeah, it's a lot to process. Especially, so I actually screenshot a quote about specific, not just code switching, but racial code switching. And racial code switching is one impression management strategy where Black people adjust their self-presentation to receive desirable outcomes. Example, perceived professionalism through mirroring the norms, behaviors, and attributes of the dominant group. Example, white people in specific contexts. So that's where that comes from. And when I asked you about it being a defense mechanism, I asked that already knowing the answer to it because I too use that as well. I notice that sometimes, especially with my code switching, I'll turn on the quote unquote white girl with someone I don't know. that I'm not comfortable with.
Because you don't know them.
I don't know them. It's defensive. I'm presenting myself in such a way that I don't need your preconceived notions and biases of me as a Black woman to get in the way of the job I'm trying to perform. So I'm going to present myself in such a way to make sure that you hear me. At this point, I don't give a shit if you see me. I need you to hear me. And in order for me to pass and permeate what you already have up as what I'm going to come with the neck switch and the tongue snap and whatever the fuck that comes in between that, I'm going to hit you with something you weren't expecting. Because I thoroughly enjoy blowing people's shits to pieces when I present to them myself in a certain way that they weren't expecting. And it's just like, oh, I didn't know. Or my favorite, and I say that with heavy quotes on it, you speak so eloquently. And it's like, thanks. So I grew up here. I live here. I have degrees in English, multiple, because they were minors, but they're degrees in English. So I know how to speak this shit. Don't be surprised just because the brown skin comes with it that I can Wikipedia you under a fucking table, because I will. That sounded really gross. I didn't mean for it to sound like that. That sounded a little more sexual than I meant it to be. It's not sexual.
That's going to be a category on like Pornhub now. Wikipedia under the table.
Oh no! We don't need to be giving them ideas, and if you do, my Venmo is. But yeah,
we accept cash, checks.
Visa, debit, MasterCard. American Express is
plane
not...
tickets to somewhere tropical.
I was going to say, American Express is not accepted here.
No. No Discover neither.
But yeah.
Yeah, for me, I definitely see it as making myself more palatable so that you retain the conversation or you retain the experience. I mean, it happens to me. It happens to me for English a lot. It happens to me for Spanish. I love when the people come in and they're like, someone speak Spanish? I'm like, bro, hi, how are you? Let's go. Let's do this.
Let's fucking go.
Oh, your Spanish is so nice. Thank you.
Oh, what did you expect it to be? Trash? Like, come on.
Thank you. Or like when I can't turn my ears off, so like I hear someone speaking, they have a question about something, I answer the question, and then I immediately regret answering the question because now they're like, oh man, look, she knows, like the brown girl, for Spanish people, it's the brown girl knows how to speak Spanish.
So you're getting it from two different angles.
I hate it.
My God. What a 1-2 punch.
So like sometimes I don't even, like I'll hear the questions now, my ears are off. I'm not answering it. I'm not helping.
Yeah.
You need me, I'll be over here. Thank you.
Right. Goddamn. Yeah, that's tough. And with the code switching comes a level of imposter syndrome with it as well. And with that, I actually... I screenshot a lot of shit when I'm at red lights on the way here. And one of them, actually, this is an interesting fact that I found on betterup.com. Because, you know, I got to come with sources because I don't need y'all coming at my neck being like, you just pull that out your ass. Fuck you. I do my research. I'm a Virgo. Leave me alone. So the term imposter syndrome goes back to actually 1978 from two psychologists by the name of Pauline Rose Clance and Suzanne Imes. It's IMES. And basically, imposter syndrome is the condition of feeling anxious and not experiencing success internally despite being high performing in external and objective ways. Right. So, yeah.
Whoa there, boy.
Yeah, that's a lot to process. And I feel like with imposter syndrome, because we add the element of being Black and quote unquote talking white, we're presenting ourselves in a way that isn't necessarily our true authentic selves. And that can be kind of a thorn in the side of our individuality, if you will. So it gets to be hard because, you want to be you 100% of the time. 98% of the time. But in being you, you open yourself up to criticism, judgment, side eyes, like all the things, when really all you want to do is be heard at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to be heard, but like you said earlier, we do it so that we're heard. And I said it too. Mm-hmm. But at this point in 2024, I want to be heard, I want to be seen, I want to be fucking remembered.
Okay.
That's what it is.
So you trying to leave a legacy.
Oh, yeah.
What are you doing? Because
I never want, I remember being a kid and not wanting to speak a different language because I only wanted it to be that I spoke English. And when I spoke English with an accent, I got made fun of. Mm-hmm. So I made my mom put me through speech therapy so I could, so I could not have it anymore. Which is why I don't have any type of accent at all. Damn. Mm-hmm. Because I wouldn't speak, I wouldn't speak up in class. I wouldn't raise my hand. I wouldn't, if they asked me to read something, you went, 6 people in front of you, so you knew exactly what part you were going to read.
Yup. Tell me where your anxiety stems from.
I wouldn't read anything.
Yeah.
I would just stare at her. She'd stare at me like, you're not winning this contest. I'm not reading it.
Yeah.
Not because I'm being defiant, but because I don't want 3 hours from now them to be at lunch making fun of how I pronounced a word.
Yeah.
Because ours roll a little differently for me. Yeah, exactly.
I roll. That's so much. I'm sorry you had to go through that.
I was literally they were like, oh, maybe she needs help. And then that's when my mom was like, okay, well, whatever kind of help that she needs. So I would get speech therapy. Yeah. And I pushed myself through it. Mm-hmm. So that I didn't have this problem. So nobody could make fun of me. Mm-hmm. And that stems back to also wanting to present white. I would straighten my curly hair because I didn't want to have curly hair. Because curly hair was big and loud and
attracted unwanted attention.
Can you tame it? The amount of times if I had a fucking $100 for every time I heard that, I wouldn't even have to work anymore.
That's so shitty.
That
is so shitty.
So now, when I present white at work, I still leave a little bit of myself. My clothing still speaks for itself. Mm-hmm. It still speaks the loud me. Mm-hmm. And that's where I get in trouble a lot. But we'll leave that alone.
I mean, we've discussed that. It's fine.
But I can't. I'm 35 years old. I was about to say I'm 34 years old.
No, you're not.
I'm 35 years old.
I was like, no, you're not.
I cannot change how I speak. And I don't want to.
Yeah, there's no need for that. At all. You are who you are. We're going to continue to speak how we're going to continue to speak. And that's that on that. Like I said, I have a love-hate relationship with this language, but it's the way I know how to express myself.
Yeah.
And it can be manipulated in such a way that depending on the audience, I can get your attention with tone and texture.
For sure.
It's a skill. It's definitely not something you're born with.
Definitely not.
Gotta figure this out. Oh my God. Side note, I just scratched my leg and my finger went through my legging.
Do we have the same pants on?
I think we do. Yeah, they're just a different yeah.
Yeah.
But cool. We're getting rid of these.
Heard.
Squirrel. So God, it's a mess.
I noticed that I do it a lot more when I read emails. So I read an email. Mm-hmm. Just, I read it. Mm-hmm. And however I take it, whatever emotions I take from it, whether it's anger or condescending or, whatever I take from it, I take a pause and I reread it later. Mm-hmm. And then I'll answer.
That's smart.
Because
that's an adult
in the beginning, I was reading, oh, unfortunately, this happened, and this happened. Not blaming anyone, but, or per my last email used to send me over the fucking bridge. Like, per my last email, per my fucking hands, bro. Come see me in my cubicle. Thank you.
Listen, I hate that phrase. Per my last email.
I hate per my last email, or can we circle back?
Circle back.
I don't have the bandwidth. Any corporate jargon, throw it in the trash. Throw it all in the trash.
All of it.
How about you just talk to me like I'm a person? Or if this email could have been something you said to me in the hallway, say it to my motherfucking face.
Also that.
If this meeting could have been an email, do that.
I want that on a cup. I've seen it on a coffee cup.
I want to fucking tattoo it on the inside of my lip.
Like, be like, like they did in Black Panther.
Yeah. Like, see you later. Bye.
That's funny.
I now choose my words very carefully with the type of people that I speak to.
Sure.
If I know that, because now I know as an adult who can tolerate me and who can't. Mm-hmm. So everybody can tolerate water, so you're going to get water. You're not going to get the fucking fruit punch that I am every single day. Okay?
This Kool-Aid has no sugar in it.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
What? You wanted stevia? That's
sorry, we're out. See me again on Thursday, and even then I won't be here. The shipment is late. Thanks. Bye. Yeah, it's a tough, crazy world out there. And all we're trying to do is get to from when our feet hit the ground, when we get out of bed, until my head hits the pillow at the end of the day. And I just want to have some remnants of my sanity in those hours that I'm awake.
Agreed.
Some days are better than others, but because I notice too, like, especially like when I'm at work and I have, meetings, especially meetings back to back, which are so fucking draining. And I have to be on. So like I understand, like, me and my personality. I throw jokes just to get people to get their walls down, to feel a little bit more comfortable. Like, just because we work in corporate don't mean we gotta walk around like we got broomsticks stuck up our butts. Like, there's no need for that. We're all here to do a job. We can have a little fun doing it while we're here. And I recently was put on a project where the project lead jokes a lot. And it makes me really happy that we can joke together. He doesn't, like, he's, big boy, corporate white man, top of the food chain, but does not present himself like he's better than everybody. He's a unicorn, essentially. He's a unicorn. And he habitually cracks jokes about how certain processes are done and, like, why are we doing it this way? Is it still 1999? Like, just dumb, funny shit to get people to bring their walls down a little bit. All right, let's get into the conversation and just have a conversation. Like, yeah, we have the agenda to kind of guide us, but let's talk.
I wish I had one of those.
I've been in the game for 20 years, and this is how long it took me to get one.
I have to be the comedic relief and the token black girl. Oh, it's so hard.
It's so much.
So hard.
It's so much.
And my coworkers that are listening to this are going to be like, yes,
that's
we
you.
know. That's why we bring you treats.
It happens. It is what it is. We're, like I said, we're just trying to make it from one day to the next, or from morning to night at this point. So yeah, I had a question, but I think you already answered it. And it says, do you find yourself changing how you talk based on the environment that you're in?
Always.
Yeah. And again, that goes back to being a protective mechanism.
I feel uncomfortable in my daughter's dance studio.
Oh, here we go.
Because
let's do it. Let's do it.
Not that the moms are better than me, but, like, they're not showing up in leggings and sneakers and
they should
unbrushed
be.
hair. No,
that's comfortable.
They're like,
that's comfortable. Fuck that shit.
They are on one, these ladies. Like, some
do
of
they
them
show
have
up with
full
makeup?
faces of makeup on.
Who has time to do that when you have kids?
There are probably
Who has time to do that when you have
6
kids?
occasions where I put on a full face of makeup. And it's not even put on by me because I don't know how. Okay? So
who puts on makeup when you have kids?
Yep.
That's what I want to know.
A lot of them don't speak to me. I don't know if it's like a fear thing or I don't know.
Fear of what?
Fear, I don't know. I have resting bitch face. I don't know. But they just don't speak to me. So sometimes I get involved in conversations because they're happening around me and because I'm sitting there and I don't want to look at my phone for 2 hours.
Also that.
So, like, today they were talking about how, like, a bunch of people went to this Dunkin' Donuts before they drove all the way to Boston to go to the parade, and there was a half marathon happening in our city on St. Patty's Day. So, like, this lady was like, oh, yeah, I woke up early to rush to the store. There was nobody at the store, thank God, but, like, I had to get home before the half marathon. She was like, but it was a good day for a marathon. And so then I chimed in. I was like, yeah, it was nice weather for the parade and for a marathon. And then they were like, yeah. And, like, so then after that, like, the conversation sort of died down. And I was just like, I don't know if I interrupted this moment or, like, what is it? It almost makes me feel like a little kid who's not popular. Like, what is it that makes you guys not want to talk to me? But in the way that I was, like, it was such a very, like, nice lady.
Yeah.
You know, polished my Britney voice to be like, it was actually perfect weather for the parade in Boston. Yeah. Awesome. No rain. And for a marathon, so they lucked out.
Yeah.
And then in my head, I'm like, you sound so stupid, you bitch. Why are you talking about that? You don't even care. You weren't even outside.
Listen,
But
yeah.
I think it also stems from wanting to be not wanted, but, like, accepted.
Okay.
At any given point.
Sure.
So, like, now in that setting, I'm doing it. I don't care if these moms like me. Like what we talked about before we came on air. Yeah. I don't care if other moms like me. But if it makes it so your kid will play with my kid, I'll fucking suck it up.
Yeah. That's the part of motherhood I don't know that I'm ready for.
Yeah. Imagine being at the park with other people and then having to talk to them.
First of all.
Because you're sitting on the same bench.
First of all.
Yeah.
I've been to the park with little ones. Mm-hmm. Getting them out of the park is a goddamn Greek tragedy. Yep. Just to begin with that. And then I gotta be social with other people.
But I don't want to talk to these people, and I realistically have nothing in common with these people.
Yeah.
And they don't want to talk to me.
Absolutely not. Like, who? I don't want to talk to you.
Like, if someone wants to talk to you, they will make an effort. So they'll comment, like, 9 times out of 10, I have a superhero sweatshirt on or some sort of something. Yeah. So they'll be like, oh, that's dope. Like, and then, cool. Oh, are you ready for the blah, blah, blah movie that's going to come out? We'll have a little discussion like that. Again, I'm not learning your name. You're not learning my name. We're not going to get coffee later. Like, none of this shit. Fine. We're just in this moment having this chat. See you later.
Yeah.
If I see you again, hi, nice to see you again.
Nice to see you again. And that's that.
Keep it pushing.
And that's okay. That is more than okay.
But
sometimes that's all your social battery can handle.
They're like moms in fucking mom groups making play dates. And I'm like, who pays y'all's bills? Like,
their
work.
Spouse? I don't fucking know.
And then I don't fit in with, like, the other single moms because they're like, yeah, my baby daddy be paying me so much money in child support. And I'm like, what is that? Then I become Britney again. I'm like, child support? Oh, my goodness.
Not child support. What do you mean?
Well, yeah, exactly.
Oh, God. That's that.
I would refer to him, but he hasn't picked a name for himself, so I guess we'll just keep calling him Chad.
Yes, Chad. Oh, Chad.
Chad and me split everything evenly. We don't do this child support shenanigans.
Yeah, no, that's too much.
Or if I ain't got it, Chad got it.
There it is.
That's what it is.
Partner
but Chad also doesn't want to talk to any of y'all people either. He doesn't want to be friends with any of y'all either.
And you know what? You don't need to be friends with somebody if you don't want to be. You really don't. Parent or not. At this age, you don't need to do anything that you don't want to do. So there's that on that. But yeah. But yeah, so here we are. Code switching.
Yeah.
AAVEing. All of that shit.
All the alphabets.
All the alphabets. I think it was Amanda Seales that said that I think it was black women know how to talk or switch their speech from the block to the boardroom. And I really resonated with that because, like, when I'm out and about with my homegirls, like, I'm a completely different person than who I am at work. And I guess in some instances there's a reason for that. Like, because, you know, Trina on the street don't want to do the work that Trina in the cube has to do, kind of
I
thing.
guess.
You know?
Yeah.
But there's a level and maybe a jealousy between the two to want to be a little more authentic in all of the spaces.
Yeah.
Not have to be cookie cuttered into a corner because I'm at the building and I'm around my colleagues and I need to keep it a buck and gotta be on at all times and don't do or say anything that has anybody's preconceived notions of who you are. Start a conversation you're not ready to finish and all that shit. So it's tough. It's tough to navigate that.
That's why I'm thankful my work doesn't have Christmas parties, because they would not get the version of me that they see every day.
Yeah. We've done those Christmas parties, and some were fun, some were not. But that's another story for another time. But anyways, did you have anything else that you wanted to add to this? I do, however, have a quote for today. But before I get to that,
Before she gets to the quote, we're going to ask you politely to follow us on all socials.
bitch, hit that follow button.
There you go. You got both versions. How do you feel?
There it is. Let us know how you feel. Like, do
Or
you
don't,
feel?
because I don't give a fuck. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I do give a fuck. I do.
She totally does. But that was really funny. See, it's that duality
I
shit.
know.
Listen, I get it. But yes, so please follow us and subscribe to all the things, because I mean, as corny as it sounds, like, your engagement really helps us grow, and we trying to be on some, like, I can't even compare us to another podcast, but, like, I just want to be, I'd like to be on the pyramid of podcasts that, you know, people talk about. That could be fun. I think that's a good goal for us this year, is to get to that point, whatever that looks like. And we can't do that without you.
Yes.
Wow, that sounded very, like, telephone a friend. Give us your money today. For only $1.38 a day, you can have
Trina
us.
and Ashley.
We ain't shit. So, per usual, if you made it to the end of the episode, more power to you. Thanks for listening in, and follow us on all the socials. Thanks to the Bridge Sound and Stage.
And Mertz.
Woo, woo. Killing it on the other side of the soundproof glass, dealing with all of our bullshit. So, today's quote is from a lovely young lady by the name of Savannah Tomlinson. Some of you might know her because her yearbook picture was floating around with this quote that says, "Anything is possible when you sound Caucasian on the phone." I'm going to throw that shit in our story when this episode comes out so you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yep.
And there's that on that. We'll see.
I'm going to make that my status tomorrow. Fuck.
We'll see y'all bitches next week.
Bye.
That was great.